Kṛṣṇa, out of his causeless mercy and compassion, would smear their faces with his lotus hands. This is an example of fatigue caused by laboring in the rasa dance. So, I'm not going to say anything more about that. Intoxication. When one becomes arrogant with false prestige due to drinking intoxicants or being too lustful, the voice becomes faulty, the eyes become swollen, and there are symptoms of redness on the body. There is a statement in the Lalita Madhava that Lord Baladev, intoxicated from drinking excessive quantities of honey, once began to address the ants. "Oh, you kings of the ants, why are you hiding yourselves in these holes?" At the same time, he also addressed the king of heaven. "O King Indra, you plaything of Shachi, why are you laughing? I am now prepared to smash the whole universe, and I know that Kṛṣṇa will not be angry with me." It's really wild. Then he addressed Kṛṣṇa. "My dear Kṛṣṇa, tell me immediately why the whole world is trembling and why the moon has become elongated." Laugh. You don't get it. He's drunk. Uddhava is so sober. He's never been drunk in his life, I guess. Oh well. Oh, members of the Yadu dynasty, why are you laughing at me? Please give me back my liquors made of honey from the Kadamba flower. Oh, sorry, Balaram, you've had too much. Srila Rupa Goswami prays that Lord Balaram will be pleased with all of us while he is thus talking just like an intoxicated person. Balaram likes to play the mood, he likes to play in this mood of drunkenness. But he's not really drunk from intoxication, he's drunk from love of Kṛṣṇa. The thing keeps slipping.
Well, like, puts it harder and it's better.
Okay. So like, for example, in Lord Nityananda was always like a madman, as if he was intoxicated by ecstasy. But his ecstasy was love of Kṛṣṇa. That wasn't any drinking or anything like that. He doesn't need that. In this state of intoxication, Balaram felt tired and lay down for rest. Generally, those who are exalted personalities lie down when they feel intoxicated, whereas those who are mediocre laugh and sing during intoxication, and those who are lowly use vulgar language and sometimes cry, depending on whether they're in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Such intoxication is manifested according to different ages and mentalities. Srila Rupa Goswami does not describe further in this direction because there is no necessity for such a discussion. There is another description of the symptoms of intoxication in the person of Sri Radharani after she saw Kṛṣṇa. Sometimes she was walking here and there, sometimes she was laughing, sometimes she was covering her face, sometimes she was talking without any meaning, and sometimes she was praying to her associate gopis. Seeing these symptoms of Radharani, the gopis began to talk among themselves. Just see how Radharani has become intoxicated simply by seeing Kṛṣṇa before her. This is an instance of ecstatic love in intoxication. Remember we went over all of these 33 vyābhicārī-bhāvas? There was a whole series of evening darshans where we went through the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. And so I'm wondering whether we need to Well, maybe we do, or maybe we should go through them because of the examples. The examples are very nice, and they give us much more, much clearer idea. I'm just trying to figure out if we have enough time to go through all these things before I'm going to leave.
Something like 13 days.
Oh, it is? Oh, well then we have enough. Yeah, because it's, I think it's a week from Thursday, isn't it? Or a week from Friday?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
more Sundays. This one and the next one.
Okay, okay. So I guess I'm going to end off here and ask for questions. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask for questions then.
Hare Krishna. I have a question about Abhimanyu.
Who's this?
Me.
Oh.
What's his rasa? What's his sthayi bhava?
He's actually an expansion of Krishna. Nobody else can touch Radharani except Krishna. So Krishna expands himself as Abhimanyu, but plays this role of being against. See, this is why I said Krishna himself creates opposition to his devotional service, even when there is no opposition. If there's no opposition, then Krishna has to create some. Because if we don't have any obstacles to overcome, if there's no friction, if there's no barriers, we wouldn't appreciate it. We wouldn't relish it. What makes things pleasurable, or what increases the pleasure of pleasurable things, is the release of tension. From an analytical point of view, we can see that there's an increase in tension, and then when that tension is released, then we say, ah, yeah, that's great. Yeah. So even if the thing itself is not so great, if it's very expensive, if there's so many obstacles that we have to overcome to attain it, then when we finally get it, we feel, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. See, this is psychology. So Krishna, even though he himself is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even he creates obstacles for himself. And we see in his pastimes that, for example, before he can spend the night with Radharani, then there's so many problems. There's so many issues. Well, where were you last night? And what are those marks on your body? Where did you get them? Why do I smell Chandravali's perfume on you? It's like he has to go through all these things. And we see in the Battle of Kurukshetra, for example, Krishna took on this enormous task of getting Arjuna through the Battle of Kurukshetra. And why does Krishna do this? Why doesn't Krishna just say, poof, that's the end of the Kurus? And he could do that, right? But because Krishna, even he defines himself in terms of his relationship with his devotees. Krishna depends on his devotees to have relationships with somebody so that he has an identity. This is Krishna's identity, is defined in relation to his devotees. Just like our identity, who we conceive ourselves, who we think we are, is defined in terms of our relationship with Krishna. Even if someone thinks that they're not a devotee, actually they still think of their identity as in relation to Krishna. I'm an atheist. I'm a materialist. My name is so-and-so, and I born in this family, in this country, in this time. And all these things are created by Krishna. So even though they think themselves against Krishna, actually they think of themselves in relation to Krishna, but just in opposition. See, like Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa thought of himself as the enemy of Krishna. And that was who he was. That was his identity. See? Kṛṣṇa, or any of the demons, they think of themselves in opposition to God. Our duty is to fight God. We're against Vishnu. We're against the devotees.